It's Hooded Afro here, and today we are going to be reviewing Money in the Bank. Let's get started. So, as you all know, Money in the Bank took place in the Scotia Bank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And Money in the Bank was so spectacular. It was fantastic. It was an amazing PLE. Great things came about it. Some ups, some downs, and some that just took a turn for the worst. So I'm here to talk to you about what happened and what went down at Money in the Bank 2024. The show kicked off with how it usually does. Opens up with a whole little vignette, and of course we get to see the possible winners of the Money in the Bank briefcase. Told us about the enriched history about Money in the Bank, who's held the longest, who's cashed in the fastest, who's, yada yada yada. The Money in the Bank briefcase, for anybody who is new to wrestling and wondering what goes on and what is put into this. The Money in the Bank contract, they've probably explained it to you guys. It's opportunity. Damian Priest narrates that it's opportunity during the pre-show. Narrating that there is a contract inside that very briefcase for a opportunity at a world championship match. Anytime, any place, anywhere. For up to a year. And some people have waited till WrestleMania to cash it in. Others have waited till after WrestleMania to cash it in. So here, and there's been a lot of just a lot to put into the Money in the Bank briefcase. So speaking of the Money in the Bank briefcase, we got to talk about the first match, which is the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We saw Jey Uso open us up and walk through the crowd down to the arena, of course. Put on a whole little, Usi moment. Yeah, a little Usi moment. Andrade then came out, of course, cosplaying as the Black Mask from the DC universe. So, as you all know, El Idolo, or as Drew McIntyre calls him, El Idiot. Chad Gable would be next, of course, the Olympian himself. Believe it was him. Oh no, LA Knight, sorry. LA Knight came out. That's my mistake. LA Knight came out next, all hot and fire. Went back to his old was it 2023? Yeah, I think it was his 2023 red kind of outfit that he had, obviously for Canada. Then Chad Gable came out in his regular Alpha Academy kind of suit, or well, not suit, but like singlet. Then of course we had Carmelo Hayes come out, all him. And honestly, I liked his outfit. I'm not gonna lie. I love the details put into the outfits that the men and women wear. I think he should have came out in like a yellow or gold and black to kind of stick it to, because he's a heel, so to stick it to the, the Maple Leafs, having a little, Bruins kind of, or to the Raptors, wear the green, all Boston Celtics, like, they're the champions, haha. That would have been nice. But then Drew McIntyre came out and walked his way, took his sweet ass fucking time like he's the Undertaker to get to the ring. Right as the bell rang, everybody just went after each other. Everybody was hitting everybody. We had moments here and there. At one moment, I think it was Uso who went flying on the outside along with LA Knight, who did like a sort of a jumping baseball slide to Gable. Kind of switched up with each other, didn't want to face each other. McIntyre took both men out with a ladder. Chad Gable was able to put in an armbar at one point on McIntyre, who was already climbing up the ladder, and got caught with a springboard leg drop by Andrade, which looked pretty fucking decent. Andrade put, I think it was, oh god, it could have been Carmelo Hayes. Yeah, LA Knight pushed Andrade at one point and did a sunset flip over on Carmelo onto the ladder that was kind of stuck between the ropes and the ladder itself. That looked nice. LA Knight kind of fucked himself over as he stopped to go push both men out of the ring so he could get a good, good climb of the ladder. Him and Uso met at the top. We had a yeet versus yeah. Oh, he had a one side yeet and the other side yeah, yeet, yeah, yeet, yeah. But of course, Carmelo would be able to recover somehow and push them both off the ladder. Now, I might not get these events in order, but these are just some moments that I've noticed that I had noticed or remembered from watching the match. Overall, it came down to the closing of the match as everybody was knocked out. Uso was climbing up to the top, almost had his hands on the Money in the Bank briefcase. As McIntyre, they're saying like played javelin here and threw a fucking ladder at him into his gut, knocking him off, hitting him with a claymore, climbed up that ladder, and got the briefcase. Your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Money in the Bank, Drew McIntyre. And he would of course go for the World Heavyweight Championship. As you all know, of course, Sami Zayn defended the Intercontinental Championship against Braun Breaker next. This match, I just want to point this out. I was going to make a predictions video for you guys on the 4th of July. I'm very sorry. What happened is my mic was muted, and I made sure that it's not muted here so you guys can actually hear me. One of my topics or takes on this match between Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker was that if this is a kind of thing that WWE has done in the past under Vince McMahon, and they didn't change anything. They didn't do anything here. My prediction for Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker was that Braun Breaker's going to dominate in this match. He is the big dog. He is the guy, not the Roman Reigns kind of big dog, but you get my point. He's the dirty... No, not the dirty dog. He's just a dog, okay? He's got the power, he's got the speed, he's got the strength, he's got the power. He's got it all, okay, on display. And it's more of that hard-headedness that Braun Breaker has with him moving up to the main roster. And for anybody who has seen Braun Breaker dominate, like, that's just the whole part of it. He has speared superstars, destroyed superstars. He's racked up so many wins that one loss, these wins can make up all the, just one loss would not hurt him, detrimentally. Sami Zayn, being the underdog in this fight, would come out on top. My prediction was that Sami Zayn would retain, and he did. And for the Money in the Bank ladder match, Jey Uso, Andrade, and Drew McIntyre were my predictions. But Sami Zayn winning the Intercontinental Championship made sense. As long as Braun Breaker was able to perform at a level that was just more dominating to Sami Zayn. Like, that's exactly what Braun Breaker needed to do, and he did just that. He dominated Sami Zayn, threw him around, stopped himself from a spear into the steel steps, hit him on the, announce table. At one moment, I thought this was over. I thought Breaker was going to be Intercontinental Champion. I was going to be pissed because it just didn't make sense, He hit a knee to Sami Zayn's face. It was going for a haluva kick. He picked him up, did the whole little military press into the power slam. And then he was about to spear him again, but Sami Zayn was able to counter. Because remember, after kind of almost, his knee or leg or whatever, something happened to his knee and leg during that outside of the ring. Sami Zayn was able to capitalize on this, hit a haluva kick, and pin him for the 1-2-3. I was pretty happy about that, and it told a story. It really did. Sami Zayn just proves why he's the underdog and why he, nobody should doubt him. And again, Breaker proved his point. He did exactly what he needed to do, was dominate Sami Zayn, kind of break Sami Zayn enough to kind of, show like, hey, I'm dominant, I'm big, I'm strong, I could likely get close to beating you at any point. And he almost did. So, good on Braun Breaker, good on Sami Zayn, really good Intercontinental Championship match. Give Sami Zayn a break for a little bit right now. Like, don't let him rest. Don't have him defend the title at SummerSlam. He's already defended the title at, what was it? I think he defended, no, did he defend it at Backlash? I don't know, I forget. I know King and Queen of the Ring, Clash of the Castle, and now Money in the Bank. So, yeah, no, he did defend it at Backlash. So he's already been on 4 PLEs defending that title. I think it's time for the United States Champion to get himself up on that um, run too. It's time for Logan Paul to be on that show on SummerSlam. Let Sami Zayn take it light right now. Like, let Sami Zayn kind of heal up a little bit. Not relinquish the title, but give him a little break. You know what I mean? Let's find out who's going to be his next challenger. I already know. In Germany, he's defending that title against Liquid Kaiser. Do not tell me otherwise. Liquid Kaiser and him will have that match. And I wouldn't be mad if Liquid Kaiser wins in Germany. Would not be mad. Sami Zayn versus Liquid Kaiser for the IC title in Germany. That's a great fucking plan right there. Great fucking plan. After this match, of course, we had a big announcement, ladies and gentlemen. Trish Stratus was hosting the show because we were in Toronto. She's from Toronto, for anybody who doesn't know that. She was hosting the show, and of course she brought out somebody who was really, how do I say, he was he was seen in Toronto, and I was reading, that's why I was reading on Twitter that he was there, and I was like, why the fuck is he here? John Cena, ladies and gentlemen. John effing Cena was here in Toronto. For some reason, he was here, and he came out, and he wore a shirt, and I read what it was. I already knew what it was on there. I was like, are you serious, man? No. He held up the thing. The last time is now. He came out, got to the ring, and kind of wanted everybody to know why he was doing here. And he said he's officially making his announcements that he is retiring by the end of 2025. So John Cena will be retired. So for any context, anybody watch the post show, I would suggest to go watch the post show, the whole thing, get to Cena's part, and let him answer all the questions through. Cena said even during his promo he was going to. He left a thank you. He said thank you for everybody who's been cheering. I still want you guys to know that you cheering will, it's always been great to me. I love the feedback from you guys. You guys are amazing fans. And hustle, loyalty, respect has always been his true three, things. He said his Royal Rumble 2025 is his last Royal Rumble. Elimination Chamber 2025 is his last Elimination Chamber. WrestleMania is his last WrestleMania. He is wrestling, and he's going to try to get matches or so. He's going to try to get all the way through 2025, and at the end of it, Cena will retire. I don't know who his WrestleMania opponent will be. I don't know. I think he'll be in the Royal Rumble match. It'll be nice. He'll get eliminated. He'll damn sure get eliminated. Yeah, I know this. He'll get eliminated by like Austin Theory or somebody from his past who's like, it will be somebody. I don't know who his retirement match will be with. I just know it should be good. I loved Cena when I first got into WWE. He was just a great guy. I actually met him in person. This wasn't I'm trying to be honest. Like, this wasn't, for anybody wondering, this wasn't like one-on-one with us, like me taking a picture with him, meeting him. But I got to see him live, like just in person. I got to see him wrestle in a ring. I've seen him twice actually at 2 events, one in 2013 and the other one in 2016. So this was in, mind you guys, I'm from Massachusetts. We went to Amherst and Springfield. Everybody probably knows that. Went to Springfield for 2013, went to Amherst in 2016 to see his match. I remember his matches exactly. In 2013, it was him, Sheamus, and The Big Show versus The Shield at the time. And then in 2016, it was him and AJ Styles, WWE Championship match. False Count Anywhere. False Count Anywhere, WWE Championship match. I loved it. In 2013, I was more like on the floor area, so I could see from behind where commentary team would usually sit. I got to see him there. I was more far up back in 2016, so I got to see like from an Eagles view below. It was really nice. So being able to see Cena twice was amazing, and again, another one that like add to the list of my favorite wrestlers. Like Cena's there, Cena's there. So again, just for everybody wondering, John Cena will be retiring at the end. He's gonna. That's the plan. The plan. He said the plan is January to December of 2025. That's it. The entirety of 2025. From this point to that point, we're done. Cena is gone. Cena will be gone from performing in the ring. Like he in ring, he is retired. But being able to be behind the scenes, produce, may help wrestlers grow, help them cut promos, do better, like encourage them and give them advice. Yeah, that's where Cena's gonna shine. And I compared it to Brady. Like Brady's never gonna be done with the NFL. He's always gonna stay there somehow. Like now he's doing commentary. Cena will do the same shit, just work behind the scenes. So it's there. It's there. Um, but yeah, Cena came out and announced his retirement. So by the end of 2025, next year 2025, he will be done. We then got to a title match, and this kind of pissed me off. Maybe you guys got pissed off about it too, but I damn sure was pissed off about it. Seth Rollins took on Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. If everybody knows, there's a high stake match because if Damian Priest lost, he would have had to left the Judgment Day. If Seth Rollins lost, he would never get a championship match as long as Damian Priest is champion. So they went back and forth. They both kept looking to the entranceway, which is fucking like they knew McIntyre won. They knew what he was gonna do. They believed him. They fucking believed him. All right. McIntyre, yeah, like that whole fucking thing, it was there. Like Damian Priest, and Rollins went back and forth. Their chops, their kicks, everything. There was a botch. Everybody will remember this. Seth Rollins hopped up on the top rope, hit the suplex, looking for the Falcon's Arrow. Damian Priest countered, looked for his suplex. Seth Rollins countered. Damian Priest then countered, only for Seth Rollins to stop him in his tracks and hit him with the Falcon's Arrow. And if you guys all noticed, he went into the pinfall cover. He said 1, 2, and then he fucking hit the mat. The referee hit the mat. Damian Priest's shoulder still on the mat, never lifted up his arm, which he should have. He missed his spot because Damian Priest missed his cue. This was on Damian Priest 100%. This was not on McIntyre, and this was damn sure not on Rollins. This was 100% on your world champion. And honestly, at that point I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean? That's some bullshit. And I hope everybody said bullshit. I was waiting for the crowd to say bullshit. Because it's true. Damian Priest missed his cue. He was supposed to kick out. And then McIntyre was supposed to show up. Like after Priest kicked out, that's when Drew McIntyre was supposed to show up. After that kick out, they had to improvise for a little bit until McIntyre came out, marched down to the ring, took his sweet ass time again, cashed in his briefcase. Because mind you, they had to improvise. So because of that miscue, they had to literally improvise until McIntyre came out. McIntyre was supposed to come out after that kick out. So original plan, Damian Priest kicks out of that Falcon's Arrow, then McIntyre comes out. Okay? So they improvised. McIntyre came out, cashed in his briefcase, got in the ring. Rollins was thrown out of the ring to recover. Damian Priest was in the ring, wanted to wait here. Or wait. I don't know how it went. Yeah, Damian Priest was on the outside. Rollins was in the ring. That's when McIntyre kind of Claymored Seth, or threw him out. Not like kind of rushed at him. Threw him out of the ring. Claymore Damian in the chest. Kind of fucked that up. Looked for it again. CM Punk out of fucking nowhere, came and attacked McIntyre, which we all knew was gonna happen. A lot of people knew, like, CM Punk was somehow going to screw McIntyre over, and it happened, and he did. I thought it was going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. It happened here. And I heard this far-fetched idea, ladies and gentlemen. I heard this far-fetched idea, and it was on Twitter, and I was like, dude, this is so far, I said it was so far-fetched, but it's not out of the question. It's a possibility. McIntyre wins the briefcase, cashes in on the Seth Damien match, Punk screws him over, and the only thing they got wrong was the outcome. Because they said on Twitter, someone on Twitter wrote, Seth Rollins would pin McIntyre due to CM Punk, costing him. So they got everything right. McIntyre winning the briefcase, cashing in on the Damien and Seth match, CM Punk interfering and costing Drew McIntyre the opportunity. The part they got wrong, and the part that I got wrong too, I wish that was all there. Seth Rollins would pin Drew McIntyre. That's the part they got wrong. It was Damian Priest who would pin McIntyre while Seth was on the outside. Why did they keep Damian Priest the champion? I have no fucking clue. Do people think Priest and Gunther are going to put on a great performance? Who the fuck knows? Because now WWE's running themselves into the status of Gunther's going to be world champion no matter what. So I hope everybody's ready for that. I've said it from day one. This year, Gunther will be the world heavyweight champion. And for anybody who doesn't know, I might as well fill you in. What they just did here was they only set up 2 feuds, opposed to 3. They set up 2 feuds, not 3. Let me tell you why. The guy I read on Twitter, I forget his name, but the guy that had the thread of what would happen with the whole cash-in situation is McIntyre would win, cash in on Seth and Priest. CM Punk would cost him. Seth would pin McIntyre, setting up 3 big feuds. 1, the dissension of the Judgment Day, because remember, Damian Priest would have had to leave the group, which means Finn Balor would be in charge. That sets up Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Then you have Gunther and Seth for the World Heavyweight Championship, which could have fed families, ladies and gentlemen. It could have fed families for 3 fucking pay-per-views. SummerSlam, Germany, and of course, if you guys have been sleeping under a rock, opened up Twitter today, realized after 20 fucking years they are returning they're returning Bad Blood, and I am so excited that Bad Blood has come back, and they're gonna in Atlanta, Georgia, October 5th. It is going to be amazing. It is going to be stellar. I cannot fucking wait for it. It's going to be great. Great, I tell you. It's gonna knock your socks off. But here, oh, and of course, how can we also forget CM Punk and Drew McIntyre? Now they only set up 2 feuds. CM Punk and McIntyre is the 100% top one right there. What's the other feud? You're probably wondering. They've already set up. Well, that has to do with McIntyre. That has to do with the dissension of the Judgment Day. Damian Priest and Finn Balor. That's it. Nothing else. Because if you remember, right before Damian Priest went out there for his title match, Finn Balor said, "Whatever you want, whatever you want." As everybody else was kind of there, so it's kind of a little nudge, wink, wink that come SummerSlam, Damian Priest will no longer be World Heavyweight Champion, which I think is dumb, because this whole high stake match was stupid, and I'll tell you why. For 2 reasons. 1, Seth Rollins now has to wait a month to get a championship match. Technically speaking, he has to wait a month because Gunther's going to be champion. So Seth Rollins will get the first crack at Gunther, and I hope they do it right here. Like, this is something that I would want. Like, you know how they said, like, as long as I'm champion, you can't get a world championship match? Well, I think Gunther will face Rollins so that he can never get a world championship match ever again as long as he's champion. So I feel like they're gonna fuck Seth over big time, in that department. But for anybody wondering how this works, Damian Priest and Gunther are both heels. I want everybody to understand that. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you think that Gunther's a babyface. I'm gonna be cheering for Gunther, but he's not a babyface, ladies and gentlemen. He's a fucking heel, and so is Damian Priest. Okay, so. And this is how it works in the wrestling business. When you have a babyface versus a babyface and a heel versus a heel. When you have a babyface versus a babyface, one of them is destined to become heels later down the line, whether it's a good sportsmanship or not, whatever the fucking case may be. It will be a heel. One of them will definitely turn heel. And it's vice versa for the heels. For the heels, heel versus heel, one of them is destined to become a babyface. In this case, Damian Priest will become a babyface. McIntyre cashing in was a waste of a fucking briefcase. Not only that, but it was a waste of time too. I'm sorry. Seth Rollins Falcon Arrow should have been the ending. I mean, they had two options. You either fucking put Seth as world champion, McIntyre cashed in, CM Punk screws him, Seth wins the championship from Priest and retains it from McIntyre. Gunther takes it at SummerSlam. Gunther keeps it faces Rollins at Germany and faces him at Bad Blood and inside of a Hell in a Cell or some shit. That would have set or do what they did here where they had McIntyre cash in, make it a triple threat. Rollins pins McIntyre because of Punk. That would have set up 3 feuds. Punk and McIntyre, Seth and Gunther, Damian Priest, and the whole fallout with the Judgment Day. That should have been the case. It wasn't. So now we're getting Priest and Gunther, even though I said that's not going to happen. So now I'm wrong in my prediction. Now I look like the idiot. Now I look like El Idiot. It's stupid. It's kind of stupid. WWE needs to kind of fix this. Now we're not getting Rollins and Gunther. Guaranteed Gunther and Rollins will face each other again. The most likely they'll set up Germany, him and Rollins, Bad Blood, him and Rollins, and then maybe Crown Jewel. Do a 3 series fight with Gunther and Seth. Because he wants to break them. Gunther wants to break Seth completely. I don't understand. I think Seth should have been world champion. My opinion. Anybody thinks Damian should have won. Anybody thinks Damian should have retained. I don't know what's wrong with you either. I know why they did it. They did it because they thought it out more. They thought it out more, and they were like, well, what would be the point of putting the championship on Seth just if he's going to lose it to Gunther at SummerSlam? Why not just keep it on Damian, have him face Gunther at SummerSlam and lose it? And you know what? There's a good point to that. I'm going to tell you why. Because I've stated too, and I'm stating it now, maybe not back then, but now it's been very clear. A good championship run is at least 3 months. So to say you had a good championship run is 3 months. You have to be 3 months in with the championship. Damian Priest keeping it into August would be technically a 3-month successor. But what's the story now? How the fuck do you set up at this point? You got 2 heels. How the fuck do you set up Damian Priest and Gunther? You got to make one of them look like the babyface. They're definitely going to make Gunther look like the babyface, but in actuality, when Finn Balor fucks Damian Priest over the whole Judgment Day, Priest is going to lose the championship. I don't fucking know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't like heel versus heel fucking fights, especially of how they turn into shit. WWE could have saved themselves time if they just had Seth Rollins pin McIntyre when he cashed in after the whole, or have Seth Rollins fucking beat Damian Priest with that Falcon's Arrow. I think that's shit. Anyway, the women's Money in the Bank. We talked about the men's. We're going to talk about the women's. The women's consisted of Tiffany Stratton, who won, of course, as you guys can already tell. Io Sky, Zoe Stark, Naomi, Lyra Valkyria, and Chelsea Green. I hope I got everybody right. Hold on. Yes, I got everybody. All 6. So everybody did their parts good. Moments of this match, obviously, they all duked it out here. Lyra Valkyria did put on a great performance. At one moment, of course, well, the ending moment here is Chelsea Green got put through 2 tables, taking the biggest bump, brutal bump. That was crazy. In Toronto, everybody was cheering for her. The little sneak, I knew she was going to do this. It was part of her character, little sneaky tactics of climbing up the ladder real fast so everybody's knocked out. That was great. Io Sky taking out Zoe Starks with that flip near the end as well. Oh my god, that was brutal too. Holy crap. So brutal. Naomi doing her split leg moonsault and her split legs on people on the ladder. That was good too. Io Sky taking risk as like she always does. Oh, all of it was amazing. I didn't pay attention to much either, so I can't really give you much details on it. Tiffany Stratton climbed up there, and now she is Miss Money in the Bank because it's Tiffy time. And when I wanted to do my predictions video, I wanted to state the obvious here. I wanted to state something very, very obvious for all this, for anybody wondering. Tiffany Stratton, it does feel like a future women's champion. She does. She does. I'm not going to lie. One day she'll be a women's champion. 100%. And one obvious aspect in the women's Money in the Bank that we've had is they've said that that wrestlers have the men's have an 80% chance of becoming successful, of cashing in. Women's is 100%. Nobody in the women's division, nobody, every winner of the women's Money in the Bank has cashed in successfully. Nobody has cashed in and lost. Nobody has cashed in their briefcase and lost like McIntyre did. But not the way McIntyre did. It's more of just cashing in and losing. My bold prediction for this year is because Tiffany Stratton is the Miss Money in the Bank briefcase holder, she is too over her head. And obviously she did this, she explained this to us by disrespecting a Hall of Famer. You know, hey, take your time, plan this out, right? You know, I'll do what I want. Toodles. Like, she obviously so over her head she doesn't know what she's doing. So, my big prediction is Tiffany Stratton, and kind of like John Cena, and it should happen, because remember, and Triple H, you cannot deny this. You said this literally. You love the history. You love the history of wrestling. You love history. It's one of your favorite subjects. You love the history that the business had to that the business has. Well, history has shown that women have won the briefcase and cashed in successfully 100% of the time. Tiffany Stratton is going to be the first woman to cash in and lose her Money in the Bank contract. Like, she's going to cash in and she's going to lose. She will be the first woman to. And that's not shameful. That's not shameful because John Cena, the biggest superstar I just talked about here, biggest superstar, he literally was the first person. Go back in time. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. John Cena lost his Money in the Bank, was the first man to lose his Money in the Bank contract. He cashed in on CM Punk in 2012 and lost because of the Big Show, causing a DQ. So, I tell you not, Tiffany Stratton will be the first woman to cash in and lose. And if I'm wrong, well then clearly we don't give a fuck about history. We don't want to change we don't want to change the streak that the women's have of cashing in 100% of the damn time. So, apparently, we're going to have to wait another couple of years. Or we're going to have to wait until the exact date that Cena cashed in, and that will be the day that she cashes. They'll fail. They'll have the fail. They'll have to wait another couple of years. But hey, whatever. So Tiffany Stratton wins the women's Money in the Bank briefcase again. I got that prediction right. I knew she was gonna win. They needed her to. This also sets up a good little spot with Nia Jax and her kind of being friends. That will probably deteriorate soon. But yeah, I do believe she will be the first woman to cash in and lose for the Money in the Bank contract. She'll cash in her Money in the Bank contract, and she will lose. Because she's too in over her head, and she ain't going to plan it right. She will hold on to that briefcase tight. She'll be like, I'm going to do it when I feel, when it's Tiffy time. When Tiffy time is ready. When the clock reaches Tiffy, that's when I will cash in. And I'm sorry. No, you're gonna cash in, you're gonna fail. And it should happen. It should, because it's never happened before, and that's why it should happen. Triple H loves history so much, this is one of the reasons why it should happen, because it's never happened. We've never had a woman cash in and lose. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to the main event. I have to go to Superstars for this one. Solo Sikoa, ladies and gentlemen. Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline defeated Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. It was, and I kind of knew this to be right because this was one of the predictions I made. It was the Bloodline winning, because one of two things would happen here is, it really depended on where WWE was going with it. If WWE was going to go with, so if WWE wanted to go with Cody versus Solo, then Solo had to do exactly what he did at Money in the Bank, which was be in the match and pin Cody, which he did. So we know for damn sure we're getting Cody and Solo for SummerSlam. We're not getting Orton and Cody, which is a bummer. But hey, you know what? I'm glad that it's going to happen, because I know who's going to be coming back and coming after yo ass, Solo. I know who it is. It's the real tribal chief, the real head of the table, Roman Reigns. Put your ones in the sky. Now, let's say that that wasn't the case. Let's say that never happened. Well, then technically, they would be setting up, the Bloodline would still have to win. Roman would have came back at Money in the Bank, and Cody and Randy would be set up for SummerSlam on the SmackDown that they're in Worcester, Mass for. So, here, it was Cody, Randy, and KO taking on Solo, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu, with Tonga Loa on the outside, who he botched a low blow, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how the fuck you botch a low blow. It's like you hit him in the balls, and then you had to do it again. So it's like no kids, and then no more kids. So, for you. I also won in my prediction, I didn't put it out on YouTube, but, and again, no audio. If they did go with Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga, you know, if they were going to set up the Randy Orton and Cody match, Kevin Owens would take the pinfall. And the reason that would be, not only they would be, because they'd be screwing him in Toronto, or Canada, his home country. Here, Solo did compete. Solo was in the match. Solo pinned Cody, which needed to happen. So I know for sure Cody and Solo are at SummerSlam. It's blocked in, it's set. They've already kind of... And the reason that's the case is because they need Solo, they need the Bloodline to win. The babyfaces have won constantly. They need Solo and the Bloodline to get this win because it matters more to them. And if you want Solo and Roman to, you know, get at each other at SummerSlam when Roman comes back to fuck over Solo, that will be the end of it. Like, that will be, you know, Solo will lose, and it will be thanks to Reign. So, the Bloodline needed to win overall in both scenarios, and no matter what road you went down, the Bloodline had to win. They needed to still prove why they're dominant, you know, or why they should be taken seriously too. But when Roman comes back, you're fucked, Solo. You're honestly fucked. You are fucked. Just make that very clear. And this also, like, this doesn't do much. This doesn't, like, hurt Cody either, because Cody's going to get his win back at SummerSlam. So, one loss to make up for that win at SummerSlam. It's just one of those stories, you know? Like, oh, you beat me here. All right, I'm going to get my win back at SummerSlam. Just you wait. So they're going to continue this. And then, hopefully, then after that, I hope to get Randy and Cody. I hope to get a whole, because Randy will turn heel. It will be nice. It will be great. I hope that's the case. I hope that's the case. After this whole Bloodline bullshit, I hope that's the case. And that's how they ended. They walked off. No Roman coming back. They just walked off. That's it. Bloodline wins, and that's it. That's how they ended it. That was Money in the Bank. That was Money in the Bank. Ups, downs, in-betweens. SummerSlam will be coming to you guys soon or eventually. Actually, August 3rd, I believe. August 3rd. August. First part of August, yeah. I know tonight's Heat Wave for anybody who wants to watch NXT or gives a fuck. But yeah. Some predictions here, of course. Gunther will be world champion. Tiffany Stratton will be the first woman to cash in and fail. For SummerSlam, look out for Logan Paul and LA Knight to have a match, and that will come back around, because remember when for LA Knight to qualify, he pinned Logan Paul, so remember that. Yeah. So, until then, this has been the Money in the Bank review. Stay safe, be humble, be respectful, but also take care of yourself.